On the 10th of April 1975, Colonel Paul Tanota and Captain Howard Shue of the IC staff visited MPIC to discuss Mount Ararat and to see the August 1974 aerial photography of the mountain. At the request of Captain Shue, a print of Mount Ararat showing the 13,000 and 14,000 foot elevation was provided. On the 5th of July 1975, a book entitled something The Ark of Ararat by Thomas Nelson was released. Mr. Nelson maintained that the CIA had photos of Mount Ararat and that they had been analyzed in the search for the Ark. On the 12th of October 1975, Tom Krotzer from a group known as the Holy Ground Mission of Frankston, Texas, showed a group photo supposedly of the Ark taken during their 1974 expedition to Mount Ararat. Sometimes in 1977, Bill Chenley Speed of Search Foundation Inc. requested the aerial photos of Mount Ararat. His request was also denied. Alright, so this is the actual part where there is at least a maybe, because up to this point it was no. Now there is a maybe. Senator Barry Goldwater wrote DCI Turner on the 1st of September 1978, open quotes, "You may think this is a screwball request, and it may be, but I would like to know if you can do anything about it," close quotes. The letter went on to ask if satellite photography could be searched, open quotes, to determine whether or not something in the way of an archaeological find might be located near or on top of the mount, close quote. Goldwater explained that the letter he had received had come, open quotes, from a man in whom I have great confidence, who certainly is no nut, who knows Turkey rather well, but who feels that there is reason to believe the Ark may be resting at or near the top of the mount. I assure that I will keep this at any classification you want it kept, and if you desire me to go to the devil, I know the way, close quote. So up to this point, basically this senator in the 1970s heard someone they trusted presenting this possibility, and it was asking pretty much the government, or this specific sector of the government, if there is a way to use technology to confirm or deny the claim. DCI Turner replied, open quotes, "We have been requested on several occasions if we could determine whether there was remains of the Ark on Mount Ararat. We have, as a result, carefully reviewed the photography of the area, but have not found any evidence of the Ark," close quotes. I mean, I don't know, unless we keep reading and then we get to a section where he says, yes, we did find it and it was there, and oh my gosh, then I mean, unless we get that, it looks like that what these documents say is that there is nothing in it, or at least that they didn't find it. Now, whether there is nothing somewhere nearby or not, it's a different discussion. But at least when it comes to the CIA here and these documents, that's what I'm reading. It's insane that the articles would say, they had it all along. On the 27th of May 1981, redacted, of the center received a telephone call from the Air Force Talent Control Officer, Major Ray Abel, requesting information on Noah's Ark. Major Abel said that he had received a request from General Lew Allen, Air Force Chief of Staff, who, in turn, was answering a requirement from Congressman Bill Archer of Texas. Congressman Archer had indicated that some of his constituents from Houston, Texas, were going on an expedition to Mount Ararat and would like to have as much information as possible. Redacted told Major Abel that NPIC had conducted a study on Mount Ararat in the 1970s and had found no evidence of the Ark. In February 1982, and this is the end, former astronaut James B. Irwin of the High Flight Foundation, a Christian group in Colorado Springs, Colorado, called former MPIC official Dino A. Brugioni at his home and asked about the aerial photos of Mount Ararat. Irwin was informed that no evidence of the Ark had ever been seen on aerial photography, and approved for release, date February 2002. So at least when it comes to this document here, I'm going to look for more. But when it comes to these, they found nothing. That's the news. All right, this file is made available through the declassification efforts and research of the Black Vault. So what have we got here? Ark, yeah. All right, so this is a final response to your 10th of April 2014 Freedom of Information Act request received in the office of the Information and Privacy Coordinator on 10th of April 2014 for a copy of all documents pertaining to Noah's Ark. Our records show that we conducted a search on behalf of an earlier request for records pertaining to the subject of your request. Therefore, we are enclosing the 12 documents consisting of 49 pages which we believe to be responsive to your request. These documents were located and released in connection with the earlier request and as part of another release program. Because you are entitled to the first 100 pages free, there is no charge for these documents. Sincerely, Michelle Meeks, Information and Privacy Coordinator. And we've got a lot of stuff. So let's see everything that has Noah's Ark in it. Dr. Hyver and West Point, okay. Apparently our intelligence people at the CIA might have classified photographs of Noah's Ark, and I was wondering if you had any comments about that. So and again, we have a person asking the CIA about this, and the answer is, well, I don't recall the CIA working on Noah's Ark, but I do remember that at the time there were some pictures taken, and there were clear indications, and there was something up on the Mount Ararat, which was rather strange. There was various archaeological expeditions that were mounted. The Turkish government was not too thrilled about supporting them because it was getting into an area that was politically dicey from the Turks' point of view. All right, Noah's Ark and Mount Ararat is the subject of this one. We are already in 1994, so we jumped 2 decades. I have provided copies of imagery contained in the OIAs and MPICs files on Noah's Ark and Mount Ararat. As you can see by the accompanying records of requests for information, we have consistently denied requests for release of this imagery due to classification considerations. The documentation also suggests that we have never been able to conclusively identify Noah's Ark. And I think that this, I mean, I'm gonna keep checking. 49 pages, you said? 47 pages, you said? I'll check all 47 pages. But this is what I'm noticing here. They looked for it, didn't find anything conclusive. We have responded to FOIA requests on a case-by-case basis and have no efforts currently underway either to review other records or conduct additional searches for Noah's Ark in the Mount Ararat region. In 1994, they're gonna stop with that. They're like, that's stuff for the 70s. It's the previous generation. We don't care. More requests. Noah's Ark projects. This is 1992, 1994. I would say anything that has to do with 1994 can be summarized by what we read. Here we got stuff from 1981, so I'd say that's also 1982. That's also summarized. So no, I don't find anything. But feel free to check these. I'll put the link in the description. Maybe you can go even deeper with a comb and see if you could find anything.